All right. Welcome back to another episode of Side Note, the podcast dedicated to underground dance music and all things related. This week, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you all Omar of TechnoFamLA, promoter in the underground techno scene / rave scene right here in LA. Here to share a bunch of stories. Welcome, man.
There's a lot. Thank you for having me today.
Of course, man. I first met you, I guess like a lot of my interviews and shows recently have kind of gravitated around kind of the Fallen Angel family.
What's that?
I met Nectar and Claus and Sarah, of course, like Sarah, the main honcho behind Fallen Angel. And of course you. Tell me about how, you came into the fold there and how it is that you came to throw techno parties.
I think I want to say by luck, I came into the underground scene. We started doing techno parties during the pandemic with another crew that I used to have. I was investing money in, and we were trying to create something new. Things didn't work out. I decided to go my own way. Then Sarah invited me to be part of her team. Then we started working together in some few shows, and I work with other people. But then I decided to I have people follow me. I'm Omar Techno running the scene, so why not start a new crew?
Yeah, man.
And then I have some DJs. That simulator, I got the 2.0 Nexus, so they start pushing me to start like doing something. And we have TechnoFamLA going on already. We're already doing events. This month we're super busy. October 16th, October 23rd. We're planning a Halloween party with Planet Techno. So there's a lot coming for TechnoFamLA. We also want to be supporting Trem with Tremor Records.
Okay, that's Liquid Fish,
so
right?
That is Liquid Fish.
Okay.
So it's kind of like all of us are becoming part like a real family right now. We're also supporting Mama J. She's been in the scene for many, many years. And I'm just very lucky to be around that scene right now. It was not my plan. I was never planning to ever be a promoter or be coordinating events in a techno scene.
Right.
It just came out of nowhere, and I guess it's the love to techno, right? Love to the scene, and it's really the love that we have right now going on for the scene.
So, I think you're unique because I talk to a lot of DJs or DJs / promoters / producers. And I think you're unique in that I think you're the first pure promoter that I've had on. And I feel like most of the time when people think about like event promoter, they think like scummy, like shady drug dealer type. And I know you personally, like that's certainly not who you are like at all.
No, not at all. I think we start talking outside the venue, and I was also hosting, helping Sarah to be running things around at Fallen Angels. And I'm somebody that likes to be hosting. I like to be interacting with people, making conversations with people.
Yeah, man.
And that's very important. I like to be making that connection with everyone that is coming to the events. And I think a lot of promoters or event coordinators, they forgot about that principle that you need to make that connection with that people.
Yeah, man. I feel like I was just like smoking a cigarette at Fallen Angel and we were just talking.
We just connect, right?
Yeah, man.
And it's the type of connection that I like to be doing with every single person that goes to the events. And I think that's a skill that I already have. I like making connections with people.
Yeah.
It's hard. You don't see people doing this nowadays. And I think that's what makes me very different from everyone else, any promoter or any event coordinator, that I'm actually taking my time to talk to people and make everyone feel welcome.
Yeah, man. And then I think, one of the things that like jumped out to me when we were, when we first met was kind of your emphasis on like family and like we can all sort of help each other and
love and making sure that we're there to support each other, right? And I think there's a lot of crews or a lot of people out there, they're really doing this just because they want to be making money and making some type of profit.
Yeah.
A lot of us, I have a job. I don't need to be doing this. I make decent money for myself, so I'm doing good. I'm really doing this because I love the scene. I love the techno, and I want to make sure that also our DJs right now, they have a place where to play. That's also very important, right? You need to create a platform. And I think TechnoFamLA is all about that. It's really about family love and creating a space for others to come and play and to show us what they have.
Yeah, man. I mean, I relate to you fully, right? Like I also have a job, and yet, you know, like put in the time and effort to like put this together, and
it's not easy, right?
Yeah, and it's all for the love. It's all for the love.
And a lot of people, I think right now, it's there's a difference between me and them, right? I'm not doing this for money. I'm not doing this for profit. And a lot of people that gets to see my vision, they're kind of like, well, we like what you're doing. We want to be part of it, you know. Our new DJ is called Nexus. He just became part of our family about 2 months ago. And he sees my vision, and I like that. Now he's creating his own events, which is retrograde events. We're going to have an event on October 23rd up in Ontario. And I see his vision, right? It's also about family and about love. And we want to start making sure that we're creating that with other crews. Everyone is welcome. Everyone is welcome.
I mean, as far as kind of the Fallen Angel Techno fam kind of circle, I think you guys are really good about keeping Plur at, you know, like front and center of what you do. Whereas I feel like, I mean, I think the Plur is everywhere, but I think it varies in degrees.
It does.
You know?
I mean, every crew and every other people out there, they have different visions, right? So their Plur is really, it has a different meanings for others. We want to make sure that our Plur is original. It's about love and family and support each other.
Yeah.
It's that plain and simple.
Yeah.
There's no other way around.
Yeah, and that's awesome. You know, like, you know, I had I don't know, if you know Ray Cash. He's a resident at Sound, but he plays at a lot of kind of like fancier high end parties,
more like clubs and stuff.
Yeah, and we were having a conversation about sort of, you know, how there's kind of like a growing like socio-economic rift in rave, where like you have like the kind of bohemian like Burning Man party that costs like $80 to get into.
Sometimes more.
Yeah, sometimes more. Which, look, I love those parties too, but you know, I'm glad that I live in a city and there's a scene here that's robust enough to accommodate sort of everything, and it doesn't have to just be like one thing, which is phenomenal. And you know, like mad props to you and kind of the Fallen Angel family for, I think like what you guys do is like very accessible. So like the Plur is like really there. And it doesn't feel like cool kids only type thing, you know, like it's like all inclusive.
We actually want to have, keep it very original and really to be attracting people that really loves techno, but at the same time that they're going to have some type of love to the community, right? We want to see people coming to the shows to dance and be happy. It's really cool. Especially last year during our Halloween party that we have, I was having people coming to me like, thank you for doing this. So in that specific party, everything changed for me because I was not doing this anymore for that. So I was doing this because I was already falling in love with the scene.
Right.
And from that point to now, it's been all about the scene, about people, and about love, really.
Right. So, I mean, that's, you mentioned like a Halloween party. So this would have been 2020. That's interesting timing, like kind of during the height of like a lot of lockdowns and stuff. And, you know, I had Mama J on and she spoke to throwing parties kind of during,
we went through a lot
during
of
COVID
troubles,
as well. Yeah. Like, so I guess what motivated you to do that? And
I guess people, and I knew for a fact that people was looking for a place where to go and dance and just not to continue living their life, right? They needed the space, and that's what we end up doing. Not everyone was happy, you know, and we end up getting a lot of bad comments. And but hey, you know, I think right now is 2021, and we aren't technically on the same situation, because even if you decide to get the vaccination or whatever, if you go out, you're still getting into that, right?
Yeah, like if you're choosing to go out, yeah, like you're still putting yourself at risk regardless.
You know, I'm very happy and that things are changing now. I'm really hoping that everything starts moving towards the right direction, and you know, I'm hoping for the best for everyone, really. You know, we want to continue in this scene, doing what we can, and start showing people that we're here for everyone, and start showing people that the techno scene is not all about being in black and with a mean face. It's really a lot of us want to be changing the game into like it's about love, guys.
Oh,
as
you
well.
mean like wearing black and like
No,
looking.
that's super cool. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess it's been more like, well, it's more for mean people, and no, we don't want people to see the techno scene like that. We want to make sure that we start changing that into more like, dude, it's some cool parties, it's happy people. That's what we want to see right now, and it's gonna be a big challenge.
Right.
But I think we can make it happen little by little.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about it like I think on multiple episodes now. Like I'm a little like confused as to how the current iteration of techno became what it is in terms of like very gothy, very dark, like black and white.
And that's still pretty cool, by the way.
Yeah, I mean it's cool, but like the techno that I came up with was like Carl Cox, you know, and like Funk Devoid and like Richie Houghton and like
It was more happy techno.
yeah, it was like a little more like
it was more happy. It was more like something that you were more enjoying to be dancing and
yeah. And now it's almost like the heavy metal people from when I was like young, you know, like they've migrated over to techno and it's like hard techno.
Yeah.
But then there's also like this weird thing where a lot of the hard techno sounds like trance from the early like 2000s. So it's, yeah, there's just like a lot of like cross pollination and sort of, I don't know, for someone who's been around like, and I'm going to like sound like an old man on his porch, like it can be confusing.
No, and I think you're right. And I think, we also don't want to go like super hard techno.
Yeah.
It's not really where we're moving forward as well, because we also notice how is that affecting people, and you know, kind of want to stay away. We want to play hard techno, but the happy techno that you can dance. Right. So that's gonna be our mission as well, right?
So I think you had told me that you actually started promoting during COVID. So
yeah,
what
in the techno scene, yeah.
Okay, so like what motivated you? Like what was like the background to getting from we're in lockdown to like, you know what, I need to like throw a party.
I was working in this venue in downtown LA. I was just working there as well, and somebody reached me out. That person was looking for a venue. Then she had a partner. Her partner didn't want to do the parties with her anymore. Then we became business partners. I was providing money and venues, and that's how we really started. We started in downtown LA doing the first techno party during the pandemic, very low key. Probably have like, I don't know, like 60, 80 people. Mm-hmm. It was a very successful party. And then from there, we just continue doing parties, you know. And I think one of the biggest parties that we have, I want to say, was Halloween party.
Okay.
We had over 400 people, close to 500 people. It's a pretty big event.
Okay.
But then, once again, her vision was different. My vision was different, because I'm all about love and making sure that we're doing this for the scene and not for money.
Right.
It's been my vision since the Halloween party, because when I was people coming to me and they were telling me thank you for you and thank you because you're doing this for us, you know, it kind of changed everything. That was what it ended up changing. I'm not doing this for money. I'm not going to be doing this because I want to be on the spotlight like most people are. I really want to doing this because I'm making people feel happy.
Yeah. I mean, I love that. And so, yeah, like, I mean, I completely understand where you're coming from, right? So like on the one hand, it would be easy for me or anyone else to be like, oh, they're throwing parties during COVID. They don't have any respect for life or whatever. But also, like, people were locked down for months and months, like a whole year, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, just dying for something to kind of be happy about and to live, right?
And that changed my life.
Yeah.
Because really, I mean, having over 20 people coming to me to tell me thank you, that changed everything. Right. In that specific party, I kind of knew what my vision was moving forward. And I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And now we're here, right? And then now we have people that is working with us, Fallen Angels, Trem, Retrograde Events. We have also Planet Techno that is becoming also part of our, you know, our family. You know, we're really building a family.
Yeah, man. Have you seen this movie from 2000 called Groove?
No, I haven't.
So it's like this independent movie, like kind of low budge, but it's about like a crew that's throwing a rave like in San Francisco. And like some like popular DJs of the time like show up in it. Like John Digweed is in it. Like he's kind of like, he shows up at the climax of the movie. But at the end of the movie, there's a scene where the main promoter guy, you know, is talking about why he does it. Because it's not profitable. There's so much stress. Cops can show up anytime.
A lot of work behind the
Yeah, a lot of
scenes.
work.
A lot of people doesn't see that.
And what he says is he does it for the nod. And, you know, the guy he's talking to is like, what do you mean the nod? And he's like, it's the nod. You know, like at the end of every party, you know, his words, he says somebody comes up to him and says, hey man, like that really meant a lot to me. I needed this, and gives them kind of like the nod. And he said in the movie, the guy's like, the character's like, this is why I do this. It's every time.
I think I can relate with that a lot. I mean, every party that we're doing right now, I do have people come in and tell me thank you.
Yeah.
Good party. You mentioned that as well, you know, and I think that is pretty cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so you're doing it for the nod.
Yeah.
I've thrown like a few kind of parties under the Side Note banner in the last few years, and
we're here to support you.
Thank you,
any day, man.
And I got to experience the nod for the first time. You know,
so you can relate.
Yeah,
to me
somebody
now,
came and was like,
how everything is start changing.
Thank you so
from
much.
Being that person.
Yeah.
To, so I just want to be doing parties.
Yeah.
To that kind of like, wow, I'm actually making it.
Yeah, the thing that's interesting about that is like when you're throwing an event, like you're just doing it for the love of it, right? Like you just want to like do a party and, you know, have people have a good time. And I guess like it's hard to imagine how other people are going to take it and what meaning they're going to ascribe to it, right? But it always does feel good, you know, to do something that has like a positive impact. So.
But I think that positive impact needs to be from the door all the way to the venue, right? This is why I like to be in the front. I like to welcome everyone that is coming towards that door, because you already put in the intention and the positive energy. And once they see that, you're gonna be sending the positive energy to them, and you can start changing that energy just by being positive about things, and that's exactly why you see me at the door, making sure that people is welcome, and I'm trying to change also the energy by start making sure that when they come over, they feel welcome, a little high and welcome. I think it's very, you don't really see anyone doing that nowadays.
Right.
It's more like, just come to my party, just go to my bar, spend some money, and that's it. But no, everything that I'm doing is also, it has a meaning. I want to make sure that everyone feels welcome when they come to our parties.
Yeah, and I definitely felt welcome. I was like, oh, like everyone here is like so like nice and welcoming. Like I've talked about this party on multiple episodes now. So I feel like
and that's good, and thank you. And it's been a lot of work for a lot of us. It hasn't been easy. You know, sometimes we're not making a lot of money, and that's okay. You know, I go back to that. It's not about the profit. It's about making something nice for the community,
right? And
especially for the techno community.
So let's go back, man. Like, so you know, you shared a lot of information with me, kind of, you know, as context for this show. And so from what I understand, like you come from more of a traditional promoting background, right?
I mean, I just
outside of like house and techno,
renting party buses and limos, selling VIP services and places all over LA. I mean, I work for Sevilla nightclubs. I work for Velasco. So I was working with all these promoters as well.
So Velasco has like a rave every now and then, but for the most part, I feel like Velasco is like a completely different thing.
When Velasco opened up, I'm talking about probably 7-8 years ago, I started working with the promoters. But at that time, I was the only one providing limos and party services. Party buses.
So what was that scene like, and how does it compare to like?
It was crazy, dude. Yeah. It was very, I didn't like it that much. I was doing a big stuff of money because I was making really good money, you know, and but there was no really a passion there. It was more like, it's cool. I was not really, it was just like kind of, for me, it was just really business.
So kind of like mainstream, like Vegas-y, like kind of Miami vibe, right?
It was just making business.
Yeah, like party bus.
It was just that. I just making sure that I was making money, set up things and blah, blah, blah. And it was, at the end of the day, it was money. So there was no passion there. It was more like, yeah, cool, I do it. It's good money. Why not?
But you compare like the challenges that you had to deal with then versus throwing raves and techno parties, like what are the differences? Is there a lot of overlap?
Well, it's more personal in the techno scene right now, right? I'll explain to you why. It's about love and it's about people. It's about creating that positive vibe with everyone.
Right.
So that's the difference.
But in terms of like problems that you have to deal with and solve. Is it kind of the same, or
it's a lot of work to be putting techno shows together? You know, it's very challenging to be also working with other crews. Everyone has their own vision, and sometimes you're not gonna be able to work with them, but you could support them, right? And it's just the way it is. So yeah, it's hard. It's not easy, and not everyone is gonna be able to work with me or the other crews. But I think if we're smart and we start working together, I think we could start changing the scene towards something better that is just not going to be about money, that is really going to be about community.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe there's room for both, right? Because, you know, like at the end of the day, if you're on financial risk to like throw a party, I think you should also be rewarded for taking that risk, you know? But yeah, it shouldn't be the only thing, right? So I guess, you know, like, maybe give us the story on how you came from promoting like party buses at the Belasco to like techno.
It wasn't not just Belasco. It was like everywhere.
Generally,
Hollywood, Long Beach, and then we started doing pool parties under Crudo Sundays, Don Morales and Ferry Cruz. And it was actually the only pool party going on in LA around that time. There are some people that follows me from that event to the techno scene now. And then
really?
We talk about it because, I mean, we run the Crudo Sundays for about 4 years. And we were very
What was it called? Sunday?
Crudo Sundays.
Crudo Sunday?
Crudo
Okay.
Sundays. And
where was it?
Montebello.
Okay, Montebello.
And it was very successful, and we had a lot of fun. That was pretty fun. For me, that was fun because it was more part of something that we create, something new. And yeah, it was pretty fun. But then I decided to walk away from the scene because I started getting into a lot of drugs and a lot of alcohol. I overdosed. So
was it like making rave style or what?
No, I guess when you start making a lot of money and everything is so easy to get, you get hooked up on things.
So what kind of stuff were you into at that time?
Pretty much everything that was coming to my hands. It was kind of like, oh, cool, it's here. Sure, why not? I mean, in that scene, nightclub scene, alcohol, it's free.
Okay, so the alcohol is free flowing.
Any drugs that you want to, yeah, they're free. You don't have to pay. They come to you for free.
Okay. So that's pretty heavy. So like what?
It is a very heavy lifestyle. I mean, I know some people from Part 106. I partied with some of those people before, and I know some people that have been up there, right? And I decided to walk away from everything because it was killing me.
So when you OD'd, what was it on specifically, or was it just like a huge?
I was at Crudo Sundays. I was doing everything. I was drinking a lot. I was taking pills. I was smoking weed, and I was doing coke. I was doing a lot of stuff, and it was very challenging. I went through a really hard time, dude. It wasn't easy, and I went through a very spiritual experience as well, if you want to put it like that.
Yep.
And that changed my life. And at that point, I decided to change my life.
So was that like? Were you like kind of in a hospital bed and you had like?
Yeah. So the next day when I woke up, doctor opened up my eyes and he was like, "Whoa, I almost lost you last night." So when somebody comes and tell you almost died last night, that was very wow. So I kind of see whatever is happening in my life, or it's my second opportunity right now. So right now, you know, I went sober for 5 years, and I was not hiding from alcohol or drugs. You know, like a lot of people, they go through a situation like that, and they kind of stay away from alcohol and drugs. The week after I was out of the hospital, I was inside a club. I was with a lot of alcohol and drugs because I wanted to prove myself that I was like, I can say no to this.
A week after the hospital? Okay, so you like set up a test for yourself.
I went out, yeah.
Okay.
To be strong about it and to start like working on myself.
When it worked?
And yeah, it did. Okay. I went sober 5 years.
Okay. So did you have to like go into a program or anything? No. Okay, so
I did it alone.
You did it.
At that point, I made my decision, right? It's like, I'm gonna go sober. So back in 2020, right, I went back to a lot of drinking as well, and I was doing a lot of drugs as well, and
in 2020, you said?
Yeah, 2020.
Okay.
there was a lot of things going on, so it
Of
was
course,
also affecting me.
There was like a little bit of shit going on in 2020.
You know, I decided to go sober again. So I've been sober since May 21.
Congrats, man.
You know, yeah. I mean, Sarah also started like putting that in my head, right?
Is she sober too?
I believe so. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a lot of us that were kind of.
I know Mama J
wanna go start like
Yep.
going sober as well, and I think it's a good idea and the right way to be doing things right now. You know, and it's not easy to go sober from one day to another, but right now I have the power to do it, and it's really hard. It's hard for other people. It's not hard for me anymore.
Right.
I don't have the need to be doing any of those things. I was just doing it because somehow I was feeling depressed in 2020. You know, there was a lot of changes. I seen a lot of people dying. People that dying. I knew, dude, and it was hard. You know, it was really hard, and I don't want to go through that ever again. You know, hopefully.
So, I mean, man, first of all, thank you so much for like being so like candid and transparent.
It was hard, man. Overdosing, it's not something that you can take very easily.
Right.
You either make the proper changes for your life or you're gonna die.
Yeah.
It's really up to you. I think that was my second chance. What I'm doing right now is kind of like my new life. It's a second opportunity that I'm doing right now, and I guess right now my vision is to start helping people and start creating something new and start really creating a family and a community.
Yeah,
that is the vision.
That's super dope. And, you know, I appreciate you and sort of Mama J's sort of being vocal about kind of that stuff.
We have to be vocal.
Because look, don't get me wrong. Like I think I've said it on this show like multiple times. I think the combination of especially like psychedelic drugs and this music is beyond, you know, just the sum of the parts. I think there's a magic to that combination that everyone should experience time and time again.
Yes, I agree. And I love psychedelics, by the way. I mean, yeah.
But at the same time, like you're sort of playing with fire a little bit.
Yeah,
and you know, it's very easy to like lose yourself. I've seen it. I mean, arguably, you know, I can say that I've probably experienced, you know, periods of excess where I had to kind of dial back, including like, you know, years of like just not touching anything as well. And, you know, I think ultimately, you know, I had Ray Cash on a couple weeks ago, and, you know, he said that fundamentally he views it as like a mental health issue. You know, I don't know if I fully agree, but I do think that there is something to be said about that, where it's like, you know, I think a lot of times excessive drug use is not about the drug itself. It's about underlying bullshit that you, or not you, but like that the person hasn't addressed. So they're kind of like two sides of the same coin. But regardless, you know, I love the fact that like we can have conversations about this on this show.
Yeah, we have to. We gotta be vocal about it. We also need to start teaching the new generations out there that if you want to do it, be responsible. That's it. That's all you gotta do.
Totally. That's what it boils down to. Please. Like, be responsible. Like, control your shit. And if you can't control your shit, there may be something in your own past that's unresolved.
That is really
driving that.
That you need to be healing.
Yeah, that you need to heal. Yeah.
You need to help. Yeah.
So I guess from that point of like having maybe like a mystical experience, near-death experience, and then coming out of it kind of a different person, how did techno and sort of rave come into the mix?
Well, I started going to a lot of 6 a.m. and Incognito. I mean, they're the big players
so
right
this
now.
Was so was this around like 2016?
That was around 2014.
2014?
Okay. Yeah. And then I went to a lot of festivals. I've been to a lot of festivals. I have the opportunity just to...
So just in California or across the country?
All over the United States.
Wow. What are some of the festivals you went to?
Detroit Movement.
You did Detroit Movement?
Yeah. I've been to a lot of festivals. I've been very
Let's hear them. Let people want to know, man.
Yeah, so Ultra Miami.
Okay.
It's been a lot of festivals, but then I guess when I started getting into the underground scene, I kind of noticed that it was more something local, and I went to a lot of Incognito shows.
But so you're sober at this time, and you're going to like Detroit Movement, you're going to Ultra, you're going to other festivals, and you still love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I ended up doing those festivals going sober, and it was a big challenge. It's not easy to go sober and go to festivals, but I did it. It's not hard.
No, definitely not. Like
it's right here. It's really what you want to do.
That's fair. Because I've definitely like in periods where I'm like, okay, I'm good. Like I'll go to the party and just be like, fuck, my feet hurt. Fuck this. I'm going home.
You know what? I've been feeling like that lately. When it's already 5 a.m., my body's already telling me like, dude, you gotta go to sleep, but we gotta continue going because we gotta clean the place and making sure everything is clean and leave the venue ready for next day business.
Right.
And it's not easy to be doing this and not be doing any of those goodies, but right now it is what I'm deciding to do for myself. And I'm going to continue doing this for a very long time.
But that is so interesting because for most people, I feel like the typical experience is like, oh, I dropped E and then I saw so-and-so play and I had like a mystical experience. But for you, it was just kind of clear-headed, but experiencing because this and falling in love with it anyway, which I think is pretty fucking cool. I was
technically there for the music, and I think I think music can make you happy, and music can actually make you forget about issues that you're going through. You don't really need to be using any drugs. I think sometimes we use that as an excuse.
Yeah.
I think it's mainly just because we want to get fucked up, and let's just be honest about it. We want to be in that level, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But I think it's an excuse that we like to be using, right?
Yeah.
And no, I think if you go sober to any event, you can enjoy the music and you can fall in love with music.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that there's definitely validity to that. But I would say, like, at the same time, like, being fucked up, cool. Listening to music, cool. But combining them,
I think every person is different.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that can relate to me about that. When it's about the music, it's a different experience.
Yeah, and I think the fact that is your view on it is super cool. And I guess so you have that going, and the fact that like you're so focused on Plur. But so yeah, man. I mean, I think I definitely like respect the hell out of your philosophy and
thank you
and what you're doing.
Appreciate
like
it.
it's really like impressive to me, especially like in an environment that can often be just so about like getting fucked up and like again, no judge, love getting fucked up.
I used to love getting fucked up, and I'm not saying I'm never gonna get fucked up, but I think right now I need to stay sober because we want to make sure that we start building this the right way.
Right.
And I need to be focused 100% where we're doing events. And I learned this from Sarah.
Yeah.
We got to be always 100% where we're doing this because mentally we need to be here. So,
and I think what it comes down to for me, as with all things in life, is just balance, right? Mm-hmm. It's easy to get out of balance in anything, whether it's like raving or working out, like anything can be taken to excess, to the point where like I know people who have a problem, binging on Netflix, right? Because they're just like addicted to TV. I think part of it is just like human nature,
which is normal.
Yeah, and I think maybe part of the challenge of life and being a human is to achieve balance and to like learn how to achieve that for yourself.
It's hard. It's not easy, and nobody's perfect, but you always, in anything that is affecting your life, you gotta put the balance because that can really take you down.
Yeah, man.
And it's just balance. It's all about that.
Yeah, totally. And then in terms of like, just to double back a little bit, like in terms of your journey. So you're experiencing these festivals, you're feeling the music. So why techno in particular? And then what's the gap from national festival tour to now I need to throw parties? I guess because you had already come from a promoting background that it felt like a natural
I've been
extension.
there, I've done that. I've been in Vegas. I've been in so many places. It's been kind of more like, VIP service, bottle service, and this and that. It was more like pool parties in Vegas, and it was more like it was for me just another party. Then when I found the techno scene in LA, it was different, dude. It's the vibes, and I started going. The first event that I went, it was from Incognito. Just fall in love with the scene right there and then, and I followed them, and then.
Could you say you fell in love with the Plur?
I think the scene around that time, it was different.
Okay.
It was more like about community.
Right. So it was the Plur.
It was blur. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I remember my first events going to Incognito was all about that as well, right? And then 6 a.m. I started going to a lot of shows from 6 a.m. You know, and they put some better shows together, right? They're still out there really doing their thing, but then there was another scene that I also discovered about in 2018, 19, which was Space Brains.
Space Brains?
And
Okay.
Taco Tuesdays, because they have.
Oh, so these are the same guys who run Space Taco out in Pomona?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think for me that is some of the real vibes that are going on right now. I have a lot of respect for those guys because their vision is also about community and all that, and I love that because I'm into that. You know, it's all about community and love and that, and I guess that's kind of like my intention as well with TechnoFamLA. I want to start creating something like that in the techno scene. One person was making fun about me, one promoter slash DJ, and he goes like, "You won't ever be able to achieve something like that. People in LA don't give a fuck about anyone else." In the techno scene,
So they're saying
you
you couldn't achieve what Space Taco has achieved in Pomona because people in LA don't give a fuck? Is that what they're
It's
saying?
mainly in the techno scene. They have the idea that in techno scene never is gonna work out. Maybe one, but I'm creating those changes right now, and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But I'm creating a community of love and support, and this is about techno. This is about love, and this is about community.
Yeah, man. I mean, so like, definitely, like, I feel like you're just at the beginning of your
This
journey.
is just the beginning.
Yeah.
The pandemic was one thing, was one experience. Right now, my vision is bigger, you know, and I think right now I have a team that supports me 100%. TechnoFamLA team, April, Pudgy, and Jesse, and Jess, they support me 100%.
Right.
I have Sarah on my other side. We have also Eric Tremor. He's supporting us a lot, and they have the same vision. It's becoming really about a real community right now.
So I guess, like, you know, as you embark on this journey, or as you kind of, you're in the journey, like, what do you think about as like the end game, right? Because like at a certain point, it could be you're no longer underground. So like, would you pull back, like, once you get to the point where you're like, oh, like, I'm about to start?
That's already a business. You're already talking about bringing big DJs and
Right. So like,
already making a lot of
are
profit.
are you saying that's off the table? Like,
No, I don't think it's off the table.
Okay.
I think everyone wants to get to that level, right? There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But also we want to make sure that we provide techno shows that are going to be affordable for everyone. Even if you bring top 10 DJs, I think you also got to be thinking about people that is not going to be able to pay $35 or $40.
Right.
And I think that is the idea behind why I'm also doing this, you know. And it's going to be hard, yeah, maybe, but if I can get to that level where people is going to come to shows that are not going to be too expensive and they're going to have an experience like that, yeah, I want that.
So I guess, so ideal scenario is like, you could throw an event where you fly in an international headliner, but also at the same time
It's not going to be something that is going to be like super expensive.
Okay, so you're saying that at that event it would be more accessible rather than I'll have like an expensive party and then I'll have like a cheap party.
Yeah, you got to be thinking about the community, right? And this is about that community. It's not just about one person making profit. And this is where everything has been going down to that. People is driven by money, by profit, because, yeah, if you make it happen in these events, you could be making a lot of money. During the pandemic, we make a lot of money. I'm not hiding that. We made a lot of money.
Did you? Okay.
We did make a lot of money. Yeah,
That's
there was
awesome.
a lot of money made. But you know.
And what were you charging per ticket? Like, not too bad, right? Like 20?
Like 20, 30.
Okay.
But again, some people start getting greedy and they wanted to start charging more. So my idea was, but that was not my intention. That's the reason why I started deciding to be doing my own thing. And I think it's coming down to that, right? Let's think about that community. Let's think about everyone else. You know,
Right.
I want them to have the same experiences. And yeah, maybe in the future, I wanna, if I'm able to do it, yeah, I wanna do it. That'd be so cool.
So I guess like, maybe we can talk like numbers for a little bit, if that's okay. Like, you know, so like what's the average size of your venues or parties? Like, what's your average ticket?
Right now, we're we don't want to do anything over 200 people just because it doesn't make sense.
I think that's a great size. I mean, I think that's like the perfect party
we already
size.
have the venues, right? And right now moving forward, and it's kind of funny that that we're talking about this, because I was talking to my crew yesterday, right? If we end up bringing any headliner, we don't want to go over $20 or $25, and we want to have pre-sale tickets that are going to be like $15.
Okay.
We want to make sure that everyone is going to be feeling
$15 pre-sale, $25
We're not
going
to be changing prices at the door once we see all these people coming, right? Because now you're talking about, now you're getting into the profit side. We don't want to be those. We want to make sure that we're legit. When we tell people this is going to be the price, and that's how we want to keep it.
So do you set out like, okay, all I want to do is break even? Or are you saying like, I want to make like a 5%?
Right now, as long as we're breaking even, that's all I care.
That's all.
I'm not doing
so that's
this.
Front and center, just break
Once
even.
again, I'm not doing this for profit. Right. I'm not money driven. Money, it's my job is paying for anything I want right now.
Right.
So I'm very comfortable right now. What I'm doing right now, it's because I really have love and passion for the scene, and I want to continue doing this.
So the goal is just as long as you're not in the hole.
Yeah.
Like,
I haven't lost any money.
Okay.
All the parties that we've been doing, I mean, always breaking even, and I'm happy with that.
So maybe like, if we can walk through the expenses, right? So you're charging 15 pre-sale. You said 25 at the door.
20. Want to keep it around that 20 number.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a good number. Dude.
And then 200 people party. Like, how much does that venue cost?
Venues right now, they're becoming very expensive. 2,000.
2,000.
1,500. There's other people that are in the middle that they gotta be making their.
Wait, doesn't Mama J have access to all the good venues? Can she hook you up?
Well, she has a lot of venues as well. But some of those venues, they're not really for us. It's just mainly doesn't make sense to be doing parties there.
Okay.
But
and then sound, I think, was 800.
Sound system, it could go from like $500, something that is gonna be like if you really want to have a really great sound system, you're talking about $8,000 to $1,000. Yeah.
Okay. So that's one night, $8,000 to $1,000. Does that include like the CDJs and the mixers, or just the sound?
Some does, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then what about like, what are you outlaying for like visuals?
That's another expensive that you gotta do, right? It's 500, 600.
500?
300. It all depends who you're dealing with.
Okay.
I remember I got a quote about 3 months ago. They wanted me to charge over $1,000 for something very basic.
Okay.
Obviously, we say no, right?
So you're paying like $2,000 out for the venue. Let's say 800 for the sound. It's another 500 for the visuals.
That's about right. But we also we're also working some other deals with the owners right now. So we've been able to connect with a lot of owners, and they're giving us better deals too, right? Because they don't want us to be losing money. But it's also making that connection with the owners, right? I'm really, there's a lot of middlemen, and I don't want to go through a middleman. I like to be dealing with the owners directly.
So like all in, if I'm doing my math, you're looking at like maybe like $4,000.
Around there.
Okay.
Yeah, 3,000, 4,000. It all depends how big you want to go on production. It's really up to you. You could go up to like 7,000 if you want to. That's no problem, you know.
Okay.
But are you gonna be making your money back?
Right.
Maybe not. Maybe not at 20, right? And
what are you doing for marketing? Like, do you have like a list that did someone give you a list, or like?
No, it's just all about TechnoFamLA, Omar Techno, our DJs.
So it's like literally your attendees are just from your Instagram following?
Word of mouth, and it's just people that I get to know in other parties. They follow me. It's really, you don't really need a lot.
Okay.
It's got to be making that connection with people. And I go back to that, right? If you make the right connection with the people, they're going to follow you. I'm here today because I made a connection with you. That's the only reason why I'm here.
That's true.
Because I was able to make that connection with you to the human level.
But so you're saying, in terms of like your attendees, like you feel like you have personal
I have
connectivity,
a lot of personal connection with a lot of
everyone.
people.
Okay.
So they message me. We talk about things, not just about events. We talk about a lot. It's a lot of work that as a promoter you gotta do behind the scenes. A lot of people don't see that. They just see you as bringing 60 to 100 people to one event, but it's a lot of work behind the scenes. It's not easy. And you know, I think in this game, a real good promoter that is bringing over 50 people just to one place takes a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that like email list and sort of like
Well, we're collecting that right now. We
Yeah.
have some of that, but we're not just going based on that. I think
Right.
I'm really making that connection with people.
of course,
I like doing that.
of course, but that following is really hard to cultivate. You know, like I said, I've thrown a couple like parties in the past under the side note banner, and like driving attendance is really difficult, especially like if you're coming in and you don't have an email list, or like I'm probably not as like charming as you, like like being able to like
man,
cultivate
thank you. No.
cultivate like I don't know that I personally could get 200 people based on just like my interactions
But it's
with
also
them
a team effort,
to come
right?
out to a
But
party.
you gotta also understand that it's a team effort, right? We also have our DAs. They bring their people. They're really helping us to be promoting the events. This is not just about me. This is really about a team effort, and it's not about one person. It's about the team.
Right.
Sara support events. This other person is supporting everyone. So yeah, everything combines together, and then that's when you're having
Right.
those shows, right? But once again, we go back to that. It's about community. It's about supporting each other, right?
Right.
You support me today, I support you next week. Hey, I'm bringing 20 people for you. Hey, I have people texting me. They want to go party today. Okay, I'll send them over you. No problem, And it's about that. And it's really nice when you have like Mama J. She's not really techno.
No, she's a house. She said she's more of a house DJ, right?
But whenever she has people, she send those techno people over our events, and we do the same for her. We help her to be doing some type of promotion, and it's all about that, It's coming down to a real community where we can be supporting each other,
So I mean, I think one of the things that, and I'm sure the audience will agree, like that sticks out about you is like you have such a healthy perspective. Like on your philosophy around throwing parties. I feel like your philosophy on life is very just sort of like very like grounded and healthy and encouraging and sort of positive.
Yeah, I mean it's really once again, I mean after I guess my overdose, I start changing a lot.
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say. So where does that come from? Is that a direct result of like near-death experience?
Yes, and some experience that I have with psychedelics as well. They
Yeah,
help me
yeah. What's up?
They end up helping me to understand my life, right, as well. And at the end of the day, is we just gotta make sure we're good humans, and you're not always gonna agree with people, but you also don't want to screw people over. Words are one thing. You get upset about something, and when you start texting people, you're upset, but that doesn't count. Your actions will count, right? So you can either screw people with your actions, or you can just be upset at somebody. Just become actions and be a good human. It comes down to everything, and yeah, it's about that. We're going through a really hard time right now as a humans. There's a lot of changes that are happening right now that are very scary.
Oh yeah, as humans, we are going through a very hard time.
And a lot of people's not digging that, right? And a lot of us, we're really thinking outside the box. We get to see what is really happening.
Yeah.
And it's very scary.
That's a tough one because like I feel like on the one hand, things are kind of fucked, but on the other hand, like we also have it better than any other generation.
In the way for now, I think
in
technology
history, right?
is moving too fast.
Yeah.
And that is, for me, that is the scary part, right? I think
but I struggle with that a lot. I'm like, oh, like, do I feel like things are fucked because the news is telling me things are fucked, or are they really fucked? Because like, if you like, and we're going on a side tangent, sorry, but like, if you go back like 50 years, right? You're like, oh, the Russians are gonna nuke us anytime, right? Like, because of the Cold War or whatever. Like, oh, we're like at war. We're at constant war. We're in Vietnam. We're in Korea. So I feel like no matter what age in history you are,
that's gonna continue.
You could look around and be like, things are fucked.
It's just gonna.
So I don't know. Like, I often wonder, like, are they more fucked than they normally are, or is it just perspective, right? And should I just calm down and be like, look,
I think we need to calm down, but at the same time, we need to be aware of things and changes that are happening, how those changes are going to be affecting our life in 10 years from now, because the changes that are happening right now is not something that is going to be affecting us tomorrow, is really something that is going to be affecting us in 10 years from now, and the generations that are coming after me and you, you know, and we got to be thinking about that, right? I don't really want to get into details about any of that, but I do want to make sure that people understands right now that there's a lot of critical changes right now, and everything that is been happening right now, we need to start working together as a humans, and we need to start like really, really becoming that humans. That's what we are. That's what we're here. Let's look out for each other. You know, let's be there for each other. And humanity right now it's sad. It's just
it's sad. But is it more sad than it has been historically? That's what I don't know.
It's been this has been happening for many years, and again, we're moving towards that direction again, and that is very scary.
Because like if you were a human in like the year 1100, like life was probably way more fucked than it is.
In a way, but I mean, survival, right? We're humans. We're very smart, and right now we have all this amazing technology. I mean, we have phones that you can get in contact with anyone.
Right.
You can call somebody. It's all the way in, I don't know, the other side of the world. We're superhumans nowadays. We don't really see that. And that's something that I've been learning, right? Like, I'm like, well, 10 years ago, I didn't have this. Now I do. I'm able to be connecting with as many people I can all over the world. So that is sort of kind of like, we're also kind of like superhumans nowadays. Technology is being too crazy for me, I guess.
Right. Well, I have a lot of opinions about how technology will influence us in the future, particularly around crypto, but this is not a crypto show, so we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. But thumbs up. But yeah, man, so I guess, you know, like as we wrap up here, you know, one of my sort of additional questions to you would be like, as far as throwing events, like what are the biggest challenges that you have to deal with? You know?
I guess it's really hard to be collaborating with other people. They all have their visions. They all want to be having their display, and it's just hard. But you just gotta be smart, you know, and just try to work with everyone.
Yeah, and I gotta imagine like in this scene, I mean, every subculture, right, is like pretty like eccentric. There's like weirdos, but I feel like in our scene in particular,
weirdos, they're the best, you know. And that's
weirdos are best.
That's the reason why this scene was all about, to be attracting those people,
right?
So they could have a safe place where nobody's gonna be making fun of them.
Right, but if you're like a business person trying to get shit done, I feel like that could be a challenge, right? Like managing.
Maybe not.
Okay. Wow, such a good perspective, man.
Maybe not. You know, it's just I'm a human first than anything else.
Okay.
And that's what it is, and it's all about that. You know, before I'm doing something, I gotta put myself in their shoes.
Right.
And then from that, I'll make my decision.
Are you Jesus?
No.
Like,
wow, I wish, right?
I feel like every now and then, like I know maybe like at this point a handful of people who just have that like sort of zen, like positive vibration, and you're one of them, man. Like,
yeah,
you know?
I mean, it's been I think this 2020 it was the year that it changed my life in so many levels.
So what happened? What happened in 2020 that sort of, you know, we have a few minutes left in terms of like falling back into like using again, and then, you know, then getting back from that.
I think it was just the stress and everything.
What was
that was
the
going on, right? I mean, I've been always working. My job, I'm an operations manager. I run a company, and I've seen a lot of people die. People that used to be working with me.
Holy shit!
At that time, I was working for GTS Kombucha, one of the biggest kombucha companies.
Shout out to GT's Kombucha.
So I seen a lot of things. People outside dying, and I was under a lot of stress as well. I'm a human. I was feeling.
No, yeah, of course. No judge.
Around,
just trying to like kind of understand the context.
But then it came down to the point where I was kind of like, well, I'm not doing anything positive for me. Now I want to start making sure that TechnoFamLA is moving towards the right direction. I want to make sure that I'm sober, that I'm going to be there 100%. And everything that is going to be happening right now, I need to be there 100%. I cannot be a 50% because, you know, you can't. You need to be 100% and making sure that you're making the right decisions at that moment.
Right.
That's very important right now. Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, man, I have to say, like, you're probably like the least shady, most positive promoter. I mean, like, I don't want to like despair. I feel like in electronic music, promoters are actually like pretty positive people. But in terms of like the stereotype of like, oh, like, I feel like for the general public, when people think about promoters, they're like, oh, they're just kind of like scummy. I mean, I said it earlier in the show, right?
Yeah.
And I think you like totally exemplify how that is not true.
No, it's not.
Especially like, I think in our scene, that's kind of the case generally, but I think even more so with you, like individually.
I'm not perfect.
Of course.
But I try to stay positive on a lot of things, and I think 2020 changed my life forever, and 2021 has been hard. And I think moving forward, once again, we just gotta stay positive, be there for each other, and and that's it. Be a human.
Right.
I think we need to start moving towards that direction. And
so last thing before we go, like let's unpack some of that psychedelic, some of those psychedelic experiences a little bit. Like, so is there like a defining one that sort of kind of defines your positive attitude today, or was it just kind of, more general?
I was able to experience something that it changed my life. There's a voice that has been inside me for many, many years. It's been always guiding me, and it became more strong.
Okay. Was that off of like an acid trip or?
Shrooms.
Okay.
I don't do shrooms without having an intention. Positive intention.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
That's a medicine for me right now, and I'm having the understanding right now that shrooms are very powerful, and it's really medicine. You cannot just be using them just to get fucked up. That is not the idea behind. So I have respect for them. Every time that I do shrooms, there's something is coming from my heart. I put a vision on it and something positive, and they changed my life. They actually made me this person right now that I gotta be more positive, that I gotta be thinking more about others, and I think is my goal right now is to start changing more people into a more positive way with music, and this is why it's TechnoFamLA all about music, love.
I love that,
and stay positive with everyone.
And I vibe that, like as someone who's like very woo woo, like like yoga, meditation, psychedelics, like all of that shit.
I don't do yoga. I don't do meditation.
Well, you should get on it, man. You should get on it, man. You're missing out.
I'm learning how to do meditation right now. I've been doing that at least 5-10 minutes. I can go over it 10 minutes. It's been pretty hard for me.
But as someone who is into all of that, I like to believe, whether it's true or not, that like I have like a good sense of like like who's vibrating high. And I definitely feel that with you, like I feel like this guy is connected to source.
Yeah. Thank you.
So yeah, I mean, it's been nothing but a pleasure, like knowing you since we've met. I mean, it's only been, it's not been long, but like
no.
I would consider you a friend now, like we know each
course,
other.
And we're here to support you, any projects. I think this is a really cool idea. I love what you're doing.
Thank you, man.
Thank you for doing this for us, and I think people needs to know that there's people like me, there's DJs like Sada, like Mama J, and others that we're really doing this because we have love for the community. And
everyone. I mean,
there's like a lot of people behind us that also they have the same intention. So this is not just about us; it's about all the people that is also on our team.
Yeah, I mean, I feel very grateful to have been like connected with this sort of TechnoFamLA, like Fallen Angel crew, because everyone has been amazing. Claus, Danny, Nectar, Sarah, Mama J, it's been nothing but a pleasure getting to know all of you guys. So thank you.
The pleasure is our pleasure. Thank you for having us here, and thank you, man.
Yeah, man.
It's been a pleasure, and I keep on going this. I think you have a future doing this. I want to make sure that you're also successful, and we're here to support you, man.
Thank you, and I'm here to support you. So I guess before we we end here, like, do you want to plug? Is there anything you want to plug? I think maybe follow your Instagram account, that kind of thing. Follow Omar at TechnoFamLA on IG.
It's really all about TechnoFamLA.
Okay.
I'm gonna be putting our energy with my team in TechnoFamLA. Omar Techno is one person. He's a promoter. TechnoFamLA is going to be the collective. It's about community. It's about that. So there's two different things. Omar Techno is a promoter.
Okay.
TechnoFamLA.
Follow Omar Techno, the promoter, and TechnoFamLA.
Yeah, but TechnoFamLA, you know, it's better.
Too humble.
No.
Here's your chance to be like, yo, it's time to follow me.
Okay, if you want to say it that way. Yeah, follow me, please.
Yeah. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe to Side Note on YouTube and follow us on Instagram, Side Note Media, and follow me at Decoy Nick. Until next time.
And follow me.
Yes, and follow him. Thank you.